Okay, in this one, I'm going to show you how I made this interesting underground render right here. So the first few minutes of this one were just me modeling some stuff that was useful later on, but then after that, we really get into the scene development. Side note too, there's a link below to this free blend file if you want to download it. Okay, I want to make something that's like some sort of old factory. So either factory inside of a silo or flood tunnels kind of vibe. Here's what I'm thinking though. Let me block it out so you can kind of see what I have in my head. Let's do 64, or let's just do 128. Cylinder. We're going to be inside a big giant cylinder like this. And let's just take this edge here. So I want this to be like quite large. And then the camera is going to be looking probably upwards through this. Kind of like looking up like that, sort of. So something like that. And then we'll have some like stairs going up and down. So let me just kind of block this out really quick. It's just going to have like, and then like a bunch of these coming down. Okay, so that's kind of the idea, is like having stairs going all the way up this thing. And then maybe like some other platform can go here. Let me just duplicate this, shrink it way down, extrude this inwards a little bit, and then we can have like another platform here. So it could be like, yeah, some big thing like that. Okay, so let's see if we can make that happen. The first thing I'm going to do is model some actual stairs, because I don't really have any. I have some, but I don't really have exactly what I want for this. So let's try and do that. Let's come over here. Let's just add a cube, cursor down, and then let's just get this going. So we don't need this right now. I have one reference image, which is this, just some factory stairs. This is kind of the vibe I want. So I want it to be a little, whatever you call this loop at the end where it comes down, beveled thing goes back up, and then some vertical things going up and down that way. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 stairs, something like that. So we'll just have that off to the side, and let's just try and go for this kind of vibe. I want to do this in as simple of a way as I can and just easy to remember of a way as I can without just overcomplicating this. So let's just get a cylinder and let's just bring it down. What am I pressing? S, Shift, X. And then let's go cursor here, edit mode, spin tool. Not going to be worrying too much about like making this perfect, but something like that. And then let's just shade auto smooth, which it is not wanting to do for some reason. Maybe that's just the smooth angle. I think it's just this, or something actually wrong there. Something seems to be actually wrong. Let's just undo that. Okay, if I get this, oh my god. Why is it doing that? Apply scale. There we go. Okay, I don't know what that was. Okay, that seems more normal. So I don't know what happened before, but that's what I wanted. Okay, extrude. And then we have this, we can just mirror it to fill in the rest. So mirror modifier, bring that up in edit mode, turn on clipping, and then I just want to delete that face so it's not an overlapping face there. Slam that together. Mirror it on the Z axis as well, which is left to right. So there we go. Okay, we have this. Let's just bring this out like that. I can probably just apply that. Let's just apply it, get out of the spin tool. And then let's maybe add, actually before I apply it, let me undo that. Let me add some loop cuts right here, or just one right there. And then I'm gonna apply this, and then the middle ones I can just right click and hit D for dissolve, which it does not want to do. I think I have to delete those faces, then right click, dissolve. There we go. Okay. So then I want to get these, just make sure I select all that, down like this. I might just actually manually put that right there. Okay, so we have a problem where it's not that big of an issue, but if we look at the thickness here, it's a lot thicker than it is here, and that's because of this. So I don't know if I want to, there's not really a great way to handle that in the situation I'm in. Maybe I could, is there a shear thing here? There might be a shortcut to actually, hang on. Shear? Yeah, that actually kind of works. Let's just do that and just try and get it to the point where it looks a little bit closer to the same thickness all the way through. Okay, cool. And then let's control B to bevel this. Let me just go here and apply scale first. Then we'll just do like a 3-4 segment bevel. If you want to make it thinner or thicker, you can just select it all in edit mode and press Alt S, and that'll do that. So Alt S, we'll just bring that down a little bit. And then if I want some vertical pillars going through, or shafts, or whatever you call this, let me just This, I'm gonna just grab here, right click, dissolve, and then let's take this and let's just move it over like this, Shift D. I'm just gonna put it here and then just expand that up, shrink it down a little bit, just check that that's doing what I want. Doesn't need to connect super perfectly, just kind of needs to go in anywhere there. Could do another one here, but I think I'll leave it empty. We need maybe one in the middle, nothing too crazy, right? Just get one thing in there, another one over here, just right where it goes flat, and there we go. Cool. Let's take all this and let's Shift D to duplicate. I'm going to separate that selection just by pressing P. It brings up the separate menu. Let's take this and let's just set the origin to geometry first of all, because it's way over there. So set origin to geometry. Then rotate it 90 degrees, and I want to have this as like the platform piece. Okay, so this I can just delete and then re-extrude this way because then it'll be flat. We can mirror it, and then that can just be a little thing that is like adjacent to it here. What I also should do is go into edit mode for actually both of these objects probably. Take all of these. Let's just deselect the top vertices. I'm not extruding, I'm just literally pressing G, Z to move all these down. So now that's gonna connect to whatever's below there. And cool. We need something following this now. So the best way to do that is, there's honestly a bunch of ways to do this. I'm just gonna use an array modifier. So let's just put one of these here, put one of these here, make a step, and then just, I guess, solidify this so there's some thickness. And then let's just do an array modifier. Array modifier going this way and up on the Z axis a little bit. And then we could just increase the count, and I'll just adjust the angle here until it reaches this platform. Okay, so we just need to do one less, make this a little bit higher. That seems pretty reasonable there. Let's get all this into place. And yes, I realize there are other ways and tricks to do this, but I'm just gonna try and keep it as simple as I can for this one. Okay, so we need one outside thing just kind of covering this. For that, I'm gonna maybe just duplicate some face that's right here, separate selection, take this, move it in, grab this, extrude that just up to here. Then I can take the bottom edges here, pull that down, take the top ones, push it up a little, pull this down a little, something like that, right? Okay, nice. And then we can just extrude that out a little bit to have some thickness. Inset this, extrude it in. Let's just press Alt D and then rotate that around this way. And then let's just align it so that it's actually doing this. And then I'm gonna make any changes necessary to make this fit together. So pressing Alt D means they are linked duplicates now. And that means I can just make changes here that are gonna affect both. Okay, so now we have this, which is all one object, which is gonna seamlessly connect hopefully to this one. I think what I'm gonna do is take this guy, let's take this, and then just move that over here so that it's just one big one. I think that's probably gonna make more sense. In one of my recent videos, I made some other industrial assets. So I'll link this below if you wanna just download this. It's part of a free pack. I'm gonna use this material, whatever's on this. I think it's just a polyhaven rust material. I'm also gonna use this in the render too. So let's Control L to link material. Honestly, let's just apply scale and then cube project the entire thing at once. So we're gonna cube project, scale it up by 2. That's probably gonna be good. Okay, so we have that textured now. This I'll leave off to the side because I might want to use that later, but anyways, let's bring this back to the main scene. Let's unisolate this. So where even are we? Okay, let's go to render view here, and let's take our new stairs and let's actually start making, let's actually put that in here. So let's delete all these, delete, then let's take this guy, start doing this, I guess, just Alt D, Z, try and line it up perfectly. And then I can just spam Alt, or Shift R rather, Shift R to repeat the last action. Since I did that all in one action, like Alt D, move, then click, it's all one action, so I can just repeat it a bunch of times. All right, nice. So we have that. It's not quite as nice as I wanted it to look, but I think with some lighting, it'll become good, hopefully. And I could also move the camera back too. Let's try moving the camera back a little bit. One thing I've been trying recently is just downloading grunge images from like stock photo websites. So this is not from a texture website. It's just from Pexels, which they just give away stock images. There's some grunge things on these sites though. I think this might work. So I'm just gonna take one of these. It's not really meant to be used as a texture, but I'm just gonna try that anyways. So let's just take that, drop it in here, And let's just run that into the base color of this entire thing. So image in there. Wow, okay, that already looks good. So I think this is gonna work. Let's first of all get some more interesting lighting in here, and then I'm gonna unwrap this properly, which it may not even need, to be honest. Let's get a area light in here. Let's brighten this up. So just make it not that bright, but pretty bright. Okay, so the first thing is the roughness map of this is just horrible. Let's just see what this is actually doing, because I could expand this to have like multiple layers, but I think it kind of looks good like this. I don't know, let's expand that upwards so it's like this, and then we can have like kind of 2 layers of it, and then if I want I can add a loop cut, solid view, and then in solid view we can switch the color to texture, and then I can actually add a loop cut, just line it up there. Okay, and then I can take this and just scrub that along this way. Okay, cool. Okay, so the biggest problem here is the roughness map is not doing anything, so let's just plug the color of this into the roughness and let's see what we are working with here. So I might want to take a color ramp and start messing with, sorry, not that, I want it to go through the roughness here. Got to decide what part should be reflective and what part should not be, but maybe it could go this way. And then I'm gonna add some sort of border here. I think I might just actually do that right now. Let's just take this, let's control B to bevel that, and then let's just go Alt E to extrude faces along normals and just pull that in a little bit. And then let's just take these bottom faces here and just cube project that, and then we can throw a bevel modifier on here as well. Apply scale, so now we have something like that. Okay, we also need some volume, so let's do mesh cube. Let's get that in here. Display as bounds, which you can do again from in here, viewport display as bounds. New material, delete this, volume scatter in 0.01 to start, anisotropy up, probably a bit much, so let's half it. Let's also go to the world settings in the shader editor, just take the background out, because I just don't want all this ambient light coming in. It does look kind of cool, but I just don't want that right now. Okay, this area light can become bigger. We could also try a spotlight, that might be interesting. Could do that and then have it like here. Actually do kind of like that, but we have to figure out some sort of roof, which I could also, we could try an HDRI for that. Like let's try, let's go to the Polyhaven section and let's just grab an HDRI from here, just an outdoor one. Maybe just an overcast sky would be good here. I actually like that, so that's good. Could brighten it or not. Let's take this guy. This is just, again, that model that I made in the last factory video I did on my channel. So if you want to see how I made that, that's a separate video that you can find on my channel. If you want to download this, it's just a free asset that I will link below. It's included in like a free pack, so you can get that if you want. I'm going to take this and I'm going to just use a simple deform modifier set to bend and set to the Z axis. Let's see if we can make this work. I think I have to rotate it 90 degrees first, then apply the rotation, and now the bend is actually going the right way. So if it's bending all fucked up, you just have to rotate it, then apply the rotation, and then it'll work properly. It may not be bending correctly. If you can see that here, there's some pipes that are just really not doing too well there. What we can do is turn on this mode on cage, then in edit mode, it will actually show up where it's supposed to be. If you don't have that on, it's kind of showing up in its original location. It's just really annoying. Turn that on, then it'll actually snap to where it's supposed to be. Then we can add some loop cuts on anything that's just really not bending properly. Okay, that's all good. There's a couple more like pipes that are just really not going very well, so we can just add loop cuts. Now it should be bending right, and now we can use this in the scene. So let's get this in here. And then we can do an array modifier after that, actually before the simple deform, and then increase the simple deform bend. Well, actually I can just increase this all the way to 360, and then I can just increase the array number until we get what we want. Okay, and then I'm just gonna scale this down a little bit to force it to fit a bit better. Then we can pull it down to here, maybe a little, maybe another one below here as well. So I'm just pressing Alt D Z, bring that down a little bit. Let's do another one at the very top as well, just for some extra detail up there. Bring that way up. That's cool. I think I want to make this material a bit more reflective. Let's go into just this material here, the rust, and let's just allow some more kind of reflectivity off of that. Let's then go to the cursor as the pivot point, and then let's just hit Alt D, R, and then we can just rotate this around here actually. So maybe let's just do that, and then Shift R, Shift R. So now we got like 4 of those, which I don't really know if I even like that. I might actually undo that. I'm going to take one of these from my pipes pack. Again, this is another free pack that I'll link below that you can just download if you want. So let me take one of these. Let's go to median point and let's just hit RZZ 90. Bring that down to like here. Let's just go to the cursor, move that over here, median point. Then I might scale it up a little bit. Just really get that into the wall, rotate it. And then let's take the top section and let's just bring this up. So I'm going to turn on, make sure correct face attributes is on. And then I'm going to take this and just move it up like way higher. So GZ, this UV map is getting destroyed, but it's okay. I could even try putting this material on it. Like it might just be better to have that. Actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah, there. Let's go to median point, rotate, Alt D, RZ. Can do a couple of those there. Alt D, RZ, a couple of those over here. I kind of like these pipes, so let's just do a few more of those. Let's Alt D and then RZ. Bring another one over there. Alt D, RZ. Bring another one over here. Yeah, that's actually really cool. Let's do another one like right next to it. Pull it down a bit lower. And that is pretty cool. Let's just unwrap that with a cube projection. Rotate it 90 degrees and then just kind of get it like doing that. I'm actually quite happy with this so far. Let's just do a quick test render. So you can see that work I put in earlier of getting these stairs detailed, that's paying off because I can zoom way in now and look at just how nice that looks in there. So it's just nice to have like really detailed railings and stuff going all the way up. So that is good. I feel like this needs something else, just something a bit more interesting. I think probably the camera angle is the biggest lacking area right now. So let's see if we can go and make that look cooler. Let's actually duplicate the camera, and I'm going to control numpad 0 into this one. And then what that's going to do is I have the old camera angle if I want to go back there, but I have the new one. I can just control numpad 0 into whatever camera I want to be the active one. So now I can move this around freely and not worry about messing it up. So I really like this angle here actually because we're getting this foreground thing now. Not really foreground, but like this silhouetted platform above us. That's really cool. Really like the contrast of like the sky and then the really dark platform above us, and then like that's all really cool there. I'm actually really happy with that. And then I think it'd be cool to have like a little bit more of a foreground, so we can maybe duplicate some stairs, pull that like down here. I think this would be kind of cool to have a platform in the middle like there. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, and then we need something for that to connect to. Let's just maybe rotate that 180 degrees. So it needs to go onto something. Maybe I could just duplicate one of these, Shift D, and then let's just go in here, take off all the modifiers. So we'll just, don't want the array, don't want the symbol deform, I just want it flat and straight, and then just bring that down this way. Let's position that right here. So now we have this platform for this to actually connect to, just so that the stairs are actually going somewhere. It could be cool to have it like a lot closer to the camera, so that it's like another kind of like silhouetted foreground element. Maybe this could be flipped the other way. Like let's just try and do this. Let's take all these, not the background thing, SXX -1, and then now they're kind of acting as leading lines pointing towards the middle. That's probably a better idea to have it going that way. And then that's kind of like leading you up to like that zone, which is probably a good idea. And then do I want another one on this side? Let's try it. Let's just duplicate, maybe just off to the side, like right there. That's kind of cool. And then I just want this to have like a little bit more of like a pizzazz or X factor, or just like oomph, or it's just missing something. I don't know what it is, but it's missing something. Like, oh, we could do that there. And then we could put somebody standing there. Like, let's just try this one. It's a little bit tricky to get that like in a good spot, but maybe I can just do this, like put the person to the end, move this a bit further back. It's not the worst thing ever. Maybe the background HDRI should be a little bit brighter because I wanted that to be like reaching pure white. So let's just try and do that. Bring that up a little bit. Now we're basically back to where I was a few minutes ago before I just messed everything up. But the scale is more proper now, so that's good. Let's do another test render, slot 2, see where we're at. I'm gonna come back in a few minutes. Okay, this is a good start, but it is not interesting enough. So I'm gonna keep going. Let's see if I can just get something like up here that's like crossing over, or something that's like blocking out a bit of light, or just something that's like more cool to look at. So I just don't really know what to do. Let's maybe do a array modifier on this, get a couple of those in a row. Let's just see if we can get that crossing over the entire thing. Maybe I'll just expand that a little bit. Okay, so then do we want to have like that going there? That's kind of cool. Maybe I could have something under it too, because it's a little bit awkward just having that like floating. So maybe let's do, let's put this concrete material on this cube and then just have that either running the length of it or kind of having like, let's try two things. Let's try one that's doing this. So that's one option. Another option is, here, let's just bring that way and then one this way. Okay. And then we could also have one, let's do another cube, bring that down, scale it down so it's a bit flatter, bring it in a bit this way, and then scale it up along the y-axis. Not that much, but just a little bit like this. Then link material again, and then just apply scale, cube, projection. I'm in the wrong layout again. I need to delete this layout. This is just getting in the way. Okay, there we go. And then come on, go to render view, Blender. Okay, then this, where is this? Actually looks fine there. Okay, this needs to be re-unwrapped, so we'll just cube project that. Just kind of have that doing its thing there. Let's throw a bevel on all these. So bevel way down, select all of these, and then Control LP to copy modifiers. Okay. Okay, that is better than before. So that's a good sign. What I might also do, just for the hell of it, take this, Control L. Yeah, okay, let's take that. And let me take these bolts, or whatever they're called at the bottom, duplicate, separate, selection. Just take this top pipe only, and just put that right here. Okay, let's hit Alt R, shrink it down, rotate 180 degrees, slap it onto the wall here. Look how nice that looks. Okay, and then that can just go like here. Yeah, that's cool. A little bit bigger, a little bit lower, a little bit, I don't know what else. Maybe two of them in a row would be cool. So just GY, Alt DY. Now we have two of them. This could probably have a different material. Let's just put the rust material on it. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's good. We can duplicate that over here. Bring that here. And then let's maybe just take these and GZ. Yeah, just, oh my god, no. Okay, GZ, just bring it down to like there. Correct face attributes is still on, so that's good. Okay, and then I could also, if I want, this is not necessary, but I'll just put it on the other side too, because I feel like it could be cool. So let's just slap that onto the other side here. And I guess I might as well, because I want to be consistent, put that onto this one as well. So let's just get that centered on that, and then move this, put it right there as well. Okay, nice. So that looks good. I'm actually happy with that. It's a bit weird, but I like it, so I'm gonna keep it. Okay, let's bring this like a little bit more. Maybe this can be moved over, or just maybe no person. That actually might be better. I kind of like no person in this one. Let's do that. Okay, one more thing. Let me try and take some of my free buildings and let's put some of these in and just see what happens. So let's just drop that in here, and then let's just have it. It might be kind of cool if there's like a giant building inside this entire thing, or it could go like way above here, and then we could have one on the outside kind of towering over. That's another option. And yeah, okay, let's render this. I think I'm good to go. Rendering slot 4. Render. Let me come back in a few minutes when I'm done with this. Okay, I think all this one needs is some editing, so let me just bring this into Photoshop and let's just finish it up in there.